All right, so we're going to multiply and divide rational numbers here. Same rules apply for integers. So when you multiply two negatives together, it makes it positive. When you divide two negatives together, it makes it positive. One negative, it stays. I'll just quickly go over this. So when you multiply digits, you usually ignore the decimal point. You can use your calculator, so this isn't going to matter as much, but if you don't have one, the product will have the same number of places behind the decimal point the multiplier combines. So when we take 12.8 and multiply it by 6.3, you could take these like this and multiply them. Feel free to use your calculator. You should get 80.64 when all said and done. Division, the first number goes on the inside, the second number goes on the outside. We bring the decimal point up. So what this is saying is the 43.7 goes here, the 19 goes here. Remember, we bring that guy up. You can divide through that way. Feel free to use your calculator. This should be 2.3. Okay, so now understanding integer rules with multiplication and division. So if the signs are the same, just like integers, then the product or quotient, so this is multiply or divide, is positive. Okay, so you can use your calculator for these. I'd like you to do that first. But just remember that a negative divided by a negative makes it positive. Feel free to use your calculator. So go ahead and pause, do these four, and then resume. Okay, so here's your four answers, 13.5, 2.5, or you could leave it as 5 halves. Just make sure it's get rid of those negatives. 31.2, negative times a negative makes it positive, and then 3.6. So now for dividing, so if this, multiplying or dividing, if the signs are different for the multiplication or division, then the answer is negative. So one negative stays negative. So go ahead and pause and multiply these. Use your calculator if you'd like. Okay, so there are your four answers there. I'm sorry, I should have said multiply or divide. So when you're working through these, you're just following the rules that they say. All right, let's keep moving on. So fractions are the same way. So we change a mixed number to an improper fraction. If you don't have a calculator, you want to do it this way. Okay, you're going to multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. Sometimes this actually is easier than using a calculator. So remember, you multiply straight across. So this is 7 over 16. Okay, and we had already went ahead and simplified that for you. Well, so we're going to change each mixed number to an improper fraction if needed. Rewrite the first, and I believe it goes keep, change, flip, and then you're going to change a division to multiplication. And then find the reciprocal or flip it of the second. So this becomes 3/4. So we change this to multiplication, and then we flip this one. And then there you're going to multiply straight across. So it becomes 9 over 8, which is also 1 1/8. Okay, so calculator works just fine with this. If you have one that does fractions, that's great. If not, you can still do them without. So the signs, if the signs are the same, the answer is going to become positive. That doesn't change. If the signs are different, the answer is going to be negative. So one negative stays negative. Okay, so again, these are already set up. You don't have to worry about taking anything out here. We did, let's see, this one, and I'm not sure how it copied on yours. This should not be here, this 1/2. So, and I was looking at this one here. That should look like that. So you're going to multiply straight across. Positive, positive, positive. So 6/15. Okay. Negative times negative makes it positive. That's the biggest part. So this one, remember, it's 2/1. So positive times a negative makes it negative. And then it'd be 6/4, which can reduce to 3/2 if that's what your calculator is doing, or -1 and 1/2. Go ahead and pause. I want you to try these other 6 problems. Okay, here we go. Hopefully I got my answers all correct here. I'll check my key real quick. I did make a mistake in one of these. Okay, so we got 3/8. We got 3. Go under here, -7/40. 2. We already did that one together. And then this one was -4/3 or -1 1/3. I did make a mistake here, so we're going to have to correct this. So when I multiplied these, I didn't actually multiply, I added. I made a mistake. So I'm going to have to correct this. So this is incorrect. So it's going to be positive 15. Negative and negative make it positive. Over 24, which does simplify to divide by 3, 5/8. Okay. Be careful on those. All right. Let's continue on. Feel free to pause if I went a little too quick there for you. At the bottom here, so you're trying to figure out if these are positive and negative. So -2 times -2 makes a +4. Negative, negative, negative makes a -8. So you're trying to figure out if you can see a pattern. Okay, so in this one, there are 2 2s. In this one, there are 3. This one, there are 4 2s that you're multiplying together. In this one, there are 5. So the pattern is that when it's even, it becomes positive. When it's an odd number of negatives, it stays negative. Because we know negative times a negative makes it positive, but these two make it positive, but then you're left with 1, 2, and then 2. So that's positive, but then you're left with a negative. Okay, again, feel free to pause this at any time if I move a little too quick for you. Okay, so then we look at multiplying and dividing in real life. Okay. So Mrs. Neville is baking 5 batches of cookies. She will need 2.5 cups of flour for each batch of cookies. If she begins with 20 bags of flour, what result will change the amount of her 20 cups of flour. I'm not sure why this is in here. Okay, so let's look at this. We know that she has 20 cups that she begins with. We also know that it's 2.5 cups per batch. We're looking for the change in amount. Okay, so she also, sorry, we even forgot one thing. We also know that there are 5 batches. Okay, so it's 2.5 cups per batch times 5 batches. And you can use your calculator or 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so it's times 5 halves. That's times 5. This becomes 25 over 2, which is 12 1/2. So she is going to need, it says what's the resultant change in the amount of flour? So negative 12 1/2 cups, because that's what she's going to use from the 20 that she begins with. Okay, so you're going to think through the situation. You're going to follow the rules for integer operations that we learned. You can draw a number line or a model if you need. So draw a picture if you need. Okay, so Jody has 6 1/4 pounds of candy. Used to make Valentine goodie bags for her classmates. If she puts 3/8 of a pound in each bag, how many Valentines can she make? So we're looking for the number of Valentine bags. Okay, so she has 6 1/4 pounds. She can divide that by 3/8 to figure out how many she's gonna need here. So remember, we do need to convert this. Times 4 plus 1 is 25. So 25/4. And then we're going to keep change and flip. So if we're going to do this by hand, which we can. So this becomes 25 times 8 is 200 over 12. We simplify that. And again, you can use your calculator if you'd like there. It does become 16 2/3. So her solution is she can make 16 goodie bags, because she's not going to fill 2/3 of a bag. Okay, you don't give someone 2/3. So she can make 16 goodie bags from what she has. All right, so you will make sure to complete the next page, which is the last page in your packet. If you have any questions, feel free to email me.